The Broken Nation and the Rise of Hitler. Welcome to my channel. This story begins in Germany after the First World War, a nation left in ruins, humiliated, and struggling to find itself. The Treaty of Versailles had imposed heavy reparations, stripped Germany of territory, and reduced its military. Citizens felt betrayed. Soldiers returned from the war to a country that no longer seemed familiar. Streets were filled with broken buildings, wounded veterans, widows, and orphaned children. Hunger, poverty, and despair were everywhere. Money lost its value almost overnight. Hyperinflation destroyed savings, wiped out businesses, and left professionals struggling to survive. People carried baskets full of currency just to buy bread. Trust in democracy and traditional leaders faded. When daily survival becomes uncertain, fear and anger begin to grow. In such an environment, people look for simple solutions and someone to blame. Into this chaos stepped Adolf Hitler, a former soldier who had experienced the humiliation and violence of war firsthand. He was not rich, not powerful, not respected by society. Rejected by art schools and frustrated by his personal failures, Hitler found purpose in political groups that promoted nationalist ideas. He quickly discovered that he had a remarkable ability to communicate, to make people feel that he understood their pain, and to transform despair into loyalty. Hitler joined the German Workers' Party, which later became the National Socialist German Workers' Party, the Nazi Party. From small gatherings to larger rallies, he used emotion rather than logic to capture attention. His speeches were carefully crafted performances. Every word, gesture, and pause designed to turn fear into anger, and anger into devotion. The Nazi message was deceptively simple. Germany was suffering because it had been betrayed by enemies within and outside the nation. Jews, communists, and political opponents were blamed. The Nazis promised a return to strength, pride, and order. The public, desperate for solutions, responded. This emotional manipulation was only the beginning. The early 1920s were chaotic. In 1923, Hitler attempted to seize power in the beer hall putsch. The coup failed, and he was arrested. While in prison, Hitler wrote Mein Kampf, outlining his ideas on racial hierarchy, authoritarian governance, and territorial expansion. He realized that violent rebellion alone would not win Germany. Power would need to be achieved through political maneuvering, legal methods, and the manipulation of the masses. Economic catastrophe followed. The Great Depression of 1929 struck Germany harder than most countries. Millions lost jobs, businesses closed, and families struggled to survive. Democracy appeared incapable of solving these problems. Extremist parties gained traction. The Nazis presented themselves as the only force capable of restoring stability and pride. Propaganda, repetition, and spectacle became central to their strategy. By 1933, Hitler was legally appointed chancellor. Many believed they could control him. This was a fatal miscalculation. Within months, democracy was dismantled. The Reichstag fire gave Hitler the opportunity to suspend civil liberties. Political opponents were arrested or intimidated. The Nazis consolidated power quickly and effectively, leaving the public with little choice but obedience. Control of information became central. Newspapers, radio, and schools were all mobilized to indoctrinate the population. Children were taught loyalty from an early age. History books were rewritten. The Nazi state shaped not only actions, but thoughts. Symbols, uniforms, flags, and marches gave a sense of identity and belonging, especially for a population that had felt abandoned for years. Persecution began slowly, first with discriminatory laws targeting Jews and political opponents, gradually escalating into organized violence. Neighbors turned against neighbors. Families were humiliated and stripped of rights. These early steps of dehumanization normalized hatred and prepared society for what would come next. Meanwhile, Hitler focused on rebuilding Germany's economy through public works and military expansion. Roads, infrastructure, and factories reopened. Unemployment fell, and life seemed to improve for many. The success created loyalty, silence, and compliance. Fear ensured obedience, while propaganda ensured admiration. The stage was set for greater ambitions. Internationally, the world hesitated. Europe was exhausted from World War I, and leaders hoped appeasement could prevent conflict. Hitler interpreted hesitation as weakness. Every step of aggression was emboldened. In time, the ambitions of one man and the compliance of many would bring the world to the brink of destruction.